Hey everybody, it is Webkinz 91 and I'm here to teach you how to make a signature Arctic Fox. I know a lot of you have been suggesting on the original video how to make a signature Timberwolf. Different Webkinz that you'd like to see? Well, here's the first one in my new series of Webkinz recipes. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that the signature Arctic Fox is a lot easier recipe-wise and it's a lot more flexible because the ingredients aren't very specific. If you don't have a rare signature to trade in for your signature Timberwolf, this is a great recipe to use because you can use the signature Arctic Fox for a Timberwolf. It's a great one. And actually this one you don't even need a Webkinz for, so it's even better. There's no having to sacrifice a Webkinz. So here we go. Alright, of course we're going to start off with the most important ingredient, which is the Magic W. I don't know if I said this in the previous video, but the Magic W can be anything. I saw one video where somebody used just a drawn Magic W. That works. This one is a beaded Magic W. Do whatever. You can just draw it, you can print off a picture. Magic W's don't really matter what they look like, especially for the signatures, because they're going to turn golden anyway, so you just need like the base structure. Alright, so of course Arctic foxes live in a frozen area. Duh, Arctic fox, they live in the Arctic. So you're going to need two types of frozen food. You can just pull these straight out of your freezer if you've got frozen food that's been sitting there for a while, or just leftover ice cream. Anything works. So for my first one, I'm going to use Asian stir fry. It's frozen. Just pulled that out. Don't know when I'm gonna eat stir fry again, so just gonna get rid of it. And then the other thing, I got a ton of these, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it. Plus, also this helps because it is a meat, and Arctic foxes eat meat. So this is just frozen sausages. I totally suggest having one of your frozen items. Meat definitely helps. Alright, so of course, like with the signature Timberwolf, you're gonna need some kind of ingredient to make it fluffy. You don't need cotton balls this time. I would suggest just getting some stuffing. If you have like stuffing from an old teddy bear or just whatever, totally suggest stuffing because that definitely will help keep it nice and fluffy. And the whiteness totally helps. Speaking of whiteness, the next ingredient is something white. Doesn't have to be something big. As you can see, I'm just using a white bow. Just stick it in. It definitely helps. You're gonna need that for the color. And also something white. You're gonna want to put in some marshmallows because the signature Arctic Fox is basically like a big frickin' marshmallow. So just toss them right in. The bigger the better. If you have only tiny marshmallows, get a huge handful. If they're big ones, you just need a couple. And then the most important ingredient, of course, because the signature Arctic Fox is expensive. Not quite as expensive as the signature Timberwolf, but it's still expensive. Toss in some money. It doesn't have to be quite as much as the signature Timberwolf. As you can see, I just toss in a giant handful of ones. Totally works. Doesn't matter. So make sure to keep it nice and tight. I know I said with the signature Timberwolf that you have to stir it up. This one, don't stir it up. If you follow the list exactly right and you put in the ingredients, they just go right on top of each other. You don't need to stir it up. This is just what you need to do. Alright, so for this recipe, as you can see, I'm using a shoebox. I would suggest using a small box so it's in small, nice and tight, so everything does not like move around or anything or expand into the oven. You need it to be nice and tight, so go ahead and just put the lid on just like that. Alright, so then this will seem a little odd, but set your oven to the smallest temperature it has, not on warm. For me, the smallest is 200, so you're going to want to set it to the smallest. This is, of course, because the Arctic Fox lives in cold temperatures. Go ahead and open up the oven, stick the box right in. Don't put it on the top one, by the way, put it on the bottom one. Go ahead and turn it on and get it going. And the Arctic Fox actually doesn't take very long to cook. It also goes along with the whole, it needs to be in there for the least amount of time because of the heat. So you only need to put it in there for about a half hour. And of course, while you're waiting for the half hour, you can do your dailies on Webkinz World. Okay, so 30 minutes later, make sure to turn off the oven. Let the box stay in the oven for about 10 additional minutes just to make sure everything gets cooled off. And as soon as you're done with that, go ahead and open it up and take out the box, and inside should be, ta-da, a brand new signature Arctic Fox. Nice and fluffy, of course. It should be nice and fluffy anyway if you put the right amount of white in there. So cute, so soft. I hope you guys enjoy your new signature Arctic Foxes. If you follow this recipe exactly like I said, like I mentioned before I stuck the box in, that the recipe needs to be followed exactly. It can't be altered at all. You have to go in the right order and put everything right on top, and you should have a signature Arctic Fox. And also, like I said, you can do this recipe if you don't have an expensive or like a rare Webkinz that you are willing to give away or that you own for a signature Timberwolf.